I know I asked you this offline here just so I make sure we were good at it. And one of the things, probably about a year ago, I think in the thinking about Berlin, and you were really kind of posing this question to yourself and extension me, like, well, can I still PR, right? And I think we both thought going into Berlin, like, hey, Jess is really fit, like this is the day, and then it was like stupid hot. And then even New York build, we were like, Jess is really fit, but it's New York, right? So then we're like, I remember we were texting back and forth, like, please, can Tokyo just like, can we just have one marathon together that has like good weather? But the basis of that was like you were starting to think, okay, I'm over 40 now. Is the best behind me? Can I do it? I remember we worked together a little bit on some of the like mental exercises stuff. And so there's a lot of runners who have like what I would call my clinical practice limiting beliefs, right? Like you had this limiting belief that because I'm over 40 and I've run a bunch of them, like maybe this is it, right? And we really tried to squash that. So what was that process like for you when you started like buying into that idea that like maybe this isn't behind me? Maybe I can actually go out and run big PRs and I don't have to set these limits anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I think I remember there was one day last spring, and it was before London, so I was just running London kind of for fun. But I remember my youngest son asking me on the way to school if I was going to PR. And obviously, both of my kids know a lot about running. And he asked if I was going to PR. And I'm like, oh, no, like, I'm never going to PR in the marathon again. I'm not even going to try. Um, and thinking about that now, why was I thinking that way? And it was because I really I had my marathon PR when I was 30. It was a day before I turned 39 or something. And then I mean my next couple races were Boston, which are hard is a hard course. And I didn't have any other marathon. So I ran like low like high 320s and those like 328, 329. And I just thought, no, I'm done. Like I'm not gonna try to put myself in that pain. I think a lot of it was I was comparing myself to what I would see on the internet. I was comparing myself to the old me or like paces I was hitting. I would look back at maybe workouts I was doing 2 or 3 years ago and think, well, why was it so easy to run that pace and I can't hit that pace now? And all of that was just in my head. I really do think it was really in my head. So, I was really putting so much pressure on the workouts. I think mainly that was it. Like I was treating every workout like it was a race day and thinking like if I fail this workout, I'm not going to do well on race day. And that is just such, it just takes your confidence down every single time you go out for a workout. And I see that even with my own athletes. And it's like it's just a workout. And I have to really like pull myself back. I think that's the biggest thing that I've changed with working with you is that I've been able to just say like it's just a workout, Jessica. You're not going to just because you failed in this workout doesn't mean that you're going to fail on race day. And even on race days, like, okay, Berlin, that was a hot day, but I can't control that. You can't control some days you're going to feel off. So just knowing that, like, some things I can't control because I would start catastrophizing in my head as soon as the first rep of a threshold workout didn't feel right. I would start thinking, well, all four of these 10-minute reps are going to feel bad. But it was like, no, keep pushing, try harder, and do what you can, and really work on. I really worked on like maybe my RPE more
Yeah.
than just like looking at my watch and I have to hit 7:14 or I have to hit this single pace. Is really like how do I feel? How is
Yeah.
this effort feeling? And once I was able to change that around in my head, I was running so much faster than I ever was before because I was able to really be like, okay, this is I don't know. I was able to just really focus on more the mindset of it, the effort more than like what I'm not doing, but what I can do.
Yeah, I thought what was interesting in the last build in Tokyo, like we text back and forth after your workouts and moving stuff around with family stuff and whatnot. But one of the things I noticed in this build is like we would text you be like, "Hey, yeah, it was actually great, and these were the conditions, and it's really humid here, and I did this, and so like I'm really happy with it." Right? Versus like before, like maybe some of our earlier builds, it was like the text had like a different tone almost. It was like, yeah, I ran this, but it's really humid. There was a little bit more like negative. Right now, it was like, hey, like I actually think I nailed the effort because of like boom, 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 all these things. And I was like, oh, that's cool. She shifted the mindset a little bit about it, and I thought that was really fun to watch and see that growth for you as somebody like you're experienced, you coach, all these things. We can always learn new things about how to be better, but I feel like that gave you a bit of confidence because you had gone through everything. You're like, I actually know I'm rolling pretty well. Like I think you maybe had like one kind of like real off workout in the entire build going into Tokyo. But like other than that, it was just like steady Eddie
Yeah,
across the whole
it felt
build.
really
Yeah.
good.